Hi, everybody. We are live again. I am here with, I have to say it, Dr. Trunnis Goggins. I know he hates that title, but I'm going to use it anyway. Um, he's just not that guy. With his new expanded edition of the 4P's of You, and I am honored that he allowed me to publish this for him. And he is in Buffalo, New York right now, and I'm going to let him tell you exactly where he is. But we're so excited. So the links are in the, I'm looking at this thing. Okay. The links are in the description. So go get your copy of the Kindle, get your copy of the paperback, all the things. But Trunnis, hello, and tell us where you are and all about that linking sign behind you. First of all.
Hello, everybody. Today I am in my hometown of Buffalo, New York, and I'm actually at a building. It's a great concept for entrepreneurs. It's called Pop Out Enigma. I have two of the four owners here. It's great because there's four owners. Both of them are married couples. They've been married for a long time. What I love about these couples is they're young, and I love what young people are doing now, especially in my hometown of Buffalo, because they're changing Buffalo every single day. Louis Smith and Dallas Johnson are the two people that are here. Now, their wives, which are definitely the smarter halves and the better looking halves, they're not here today, but that's fine. But this is on Niagara Street. If you know anything about Buffalo, New York, it's on the west side of Buffalo. Literally, if you walk outside and look out the back of this building, you will see another country. You will see Canada. And it is absolutely a beautiful place. I love being home. The only thing about home today is the weather it's okay. I'm wearing a sweater. It is the official or unofficial start of summer, and it's probably 49 degrees outside, and that is not what I really appreciate, and I'm really glad that I live in Asheville now. Let's just put it that way. I can't hear you. No.
There we go. I was doing things and had the dog barking. Apologies. So I'm excited about this book. So you released this book before, but this one has got about 5 or 6 extra chapters plus an extension in one of the chapters. So there is a lot more content to this book. There's a lot more stories, and this book is not just a book about you and your philosophies or anything like that. You share a lot of stories of other people and what they've gone through and how they've turned it around. And so let's start first of all, what are the 4P's? That's the first question, right?
Yes. The 4P's are purpose, planning, passion, and persistence. Those are, in business marketing, you have 4P's. You have product, price, place, and I teach this class, and I forgot the other 4P right there. Can you believe that? Well, the other promotion. Thank you. Promotion. Gosh, it took me a minute to get that. And those are, when you do that in marketing, you have to use those in order for you to develop a proper marketing plan. So what I did is I took the 4P's of purpose, planning, passion, and persistence, and I say that you have to have those in order to build a perfect life plan. In order to get unstuck, you have to know your purpose. And then once you know your purpose, and whatever that purpose may be, it could be anything, as long as it's your own purpose. Then you have to develop a plan. Now, with this plan, and we're going to talk about this a little bit as to why I extended the book and why I changed the book. Then you have passion. And with passion, that's what it is. If it's your purpose and it's your plan, you've got to have a passion. You've got to love it. It has to belong to you. It has to be you in order for you to fully, embrace what all this is all about. And then the last thing is persistence. And when you go through life, there's always going to be something. There's going to be something that is going to change, and it's going to get in your way. It's going to be an obstacle, and you need to be persistent. You have to be put in a situation where you're not going to give up, and that's why those 4P's exist.
That's so good. Yeah. And, you can have a purpose and you can have a passion, and sometimes they don't line up. So,
That's exactly right.
yeah, you're not really looking at your true purpose if you're not passionate about it. You can be really wanting to do something. You might have a huge passion for something, but if it's not your purpose, all the passion in the world is not going to help you succeed. So
That's true.
yeah, and go ahead.
And if it's something that somebody else wants you to do. I mean, I share a story in this book, and I always go back to this story about a student that I had back in college who really, really, when I talked to her, the first time I talked to her, she says, I want to be a nurse. And I asked, I said, why do you want to be a nurse? And her answer was, because my mom wants me to be a nurse. And so I knew that that wasn't the right answer. So I said, why do you want to be a nurse? And she says, well, because my grandmother was a nurse. And that wasn't the right answer either. And I asked her a third time, I said, why do you want to be a nurse? And I emphasized you. And she hesitated for a second, and she says, I really want to be a teacher. I said, then why are you becoming a nurse? Because if you want to be a teacher, then you want to be a teacher, because I don't care how good you are at becoming a nurse, because she was a very smart student, don't get me wrong, but I don't care how good you are at the profession, always in the back of your mind, you're always going to wonder why I didn't become a teacher. And it's not your purpose when you do that. And when you don't, and if you're not serving your purpose, if you're in a place where someone else wants you to be, you could be successful, but you're not going to be there for long. And then you're going to carry some regret into the future as to why you didn't do what you wanted to do.
That is so true. I tell my kids all the time, like, if you're miserable in your job and you hate your job, it's not what you're supposed to be doing. Find the thing that you love to do. And maybe you have to do the job you hate for a little bit, but don't do it for 20 years. Find that thing that drives you. Find that thing that you want to get up in the morning and go do. It's out there. You shouldn't spend 20 years just going to a job because you have to. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So I know you wanted to talk a little bit more about the space that you're in as well, but I want you to talk about our amazing forward author that you got to do this book. You didn't have a forward in the first book, I don't believe, correct? And you connected with this young man, and I'm so glad that he did the forward, because he did such an amazing job on it.
His name is Sam Humphrey. You guys probably already know him. If you ever saw the movie, it's right now, as a matter of fact, it's the movie The Greatest Showman. Hugh Jackman was the star of that show, and then Zac Efron was I don't know if you want to say co-star or whatever, but those two were in this movie. It's a great movie, and a couple other great actors. I'm sorry, I'm showing my age. There are other fantastic actors in the show, but if it didn't have, all right, this is who I am. I've always been. I joke, but I do. Sam Humphrey was on thumb in The Greatest Show, and Sam Humphrey, I was introduced by Sam Humphrey from the musical on ours, and talked to him instantly. Really, I really connected with him. One thing I love about him is he does, again, talk about the 4P's. I was a very determined young man. He is in his 30s. He's from New Zealand. And he literally flew. He didn't know what was on the plane. It was a big ocean. He knew that he didn't get to his purpose is to go to Hollywood. Goes to Hollywood and becomes a success in Hollywood. Literally hits a home run right off the bat. Like I said, he was in one of the highest grossing films in the United States. Still a film that a lot of people watch and watch often. Whenever I say, hey, I know Sam Humphrey, who played Tom Thumb from The Greatest Showman, they always say, oh, I've watched that movie a whole bunch of times, or my kids watch that movie quite a bit. And it's a very good movie. As a matter of fact, I used the movie because it talks about P.T. Barnum, and I talked about him, and it's funny, we talked about the 4P's of marketing. I actually played that movie in my marketing classes because P.T. Barnum was such a great marketer. And so it was kind of, it was really cool that me and him got to meet. But his determination and his drive and his passion and his drive for perfection really, I instantly attached to him. He was a great individual. And when I knew that I was going to redo this book, I approached him instantly and said, hey, I really want you to do the foreword of this book. And I want you to, when it comes to help with others. And he absolutely got me. And I'm absolutely excited for that. And still can't hear you.
There we go. Sorry, you were breaking up for me, but
there it is. I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Yeah, you were breaking up for me, but it's running fine on YouTube, so I was just checking that. That's what I was doing. Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Sam is great. We had the opportunity to hang out with him a little bit when we were out in LA, and honestly, he's so down to earth, but like you said, his passion for life and just what he wants to do and the stuff that he's gone through. I mean, the things that he's been through, he doesn't look like the things he's been through for darn sure. But he just amazes me. I call him a kiddo because he's the age of my oldest. So I call my kids kiddos. They'll always be kiddos. If they're 50, they're kiddos. But yeah, Sam is amazing. And he did such a great job on that forward. You talk about so many different people in this book. It was so fun for me to read it because I hadn't had time to read your first one. So as I was putting it together and getting it formatted and plugging all the new sections to it in, what I like that you did, I know a lot of people that do like expanded editions or whatever, they just tag on the chapters to the end. So if you pick up the new book, you can just like skip all the stuff you already read and just go to the end of the book. Well, you didn't do that. You pushed stuff in the middle, so people are going to have to actually read the book. And the way that you put it in, though, builds it the right way. And I mean, you did it on purpose. There's a reason for what you put in there. And then, like I said, you added to another chapter. So just tell us a little bit about a couple of the people that are in the book, just letting people know some of the stories.
So when the book came out, I wrote the book based on my experience writing the book at that time. All right. So I wrote the book based on what I lived at that time. But as I go on, I mean, this book has literally taken me around the world, it's taken me all over the world. And I've met people like in different continents and in different ways and different walks of life. And as I compared those people to the book, I knew that there was so much more that I needed to add. There was so much more that I've learned, even with this book. So it was imperative that I put things in the book, like, for example, there are two people that are in the book that are very, very near and dear to me. I just met them after the book. But their drive and their determination and their purpose, it inspires me, and I wanted to share that. And that is Dr. Angela Bennett and Tessa Williams. They're both out of Australia. They were both very active in the sex industry in Australia. But when they realized that that's not what they were meant to do, and they needed to change, and they did change in mighty ways, they changed. But the thing is their purpose changed, but their determination and their passion maybe changed and maybe increased. But you have to read their stories because it is the evolution of purpose. Because I remember talking about, people usually have a purpose and it usually stays the same once you establish it. And you know what I found out by just those two individuals, that purpose can change, but your tactics in achieving purpose may be important in serving and doing your new purpose.
Yeah, I remember you were talking to somebody about the fact that somebody asked you that question originally, does your purpose change? And you used to say no. And now you realize it can change. And I agree with that immensely, because my purpose when I was younger was not what it is now. And now it
Right.
still has the same core value, absolutely, but it's different because of what I've been through and the things that I have in my background. So things evolve. And if you don't evolve, and you're not moving forward if you're not evolving. So I like that.
That is true.
The purpose can change. Your plans change. You have to be ready for those plans to change. You cannot just plan on plan A. It doesn't always, plan A doesn't always happen. And I think my favorite P of all four is persistence, because to me, that's almost the hardest one. Um, Talk a little bit about persistence, because I know that's a hard one for everybody.
And it's only hard. Persistence is only hard when you don't have the passion.
True.
If you are ready to give up, if you are ready to give up because you just like, you know what, I could be doing something better, then there will be no persistence. If, they always talk about the grass is always greener on the other side. Sometimes the reason why you're not persistent is because maybe the grass is not greener, you just want to be on the other side. Okay. And so you will give up on an idea. And so so that's the thing. And a lot of people, like, for example, I really have I have a sweet tooth. I love a sweet tooth. However, when I got out of when I was in the Navy, I could eat and I used to love these things. I'm going to share this with you. I loved lemon tasty cakes. Lemon, it's like the Hostess, but it's tasty cakes. I love the lemon tasty cakes. And I used to eat like 2 or 3 of them a day. Okay. So when I was in the military and I was working out all the time, because you had to work out all the time, I could eat 2 or 3 tasty cakes because I was burning all that off. But when I got out of the military, what happened was I was eating 2 or 3 tasty cakes, but I was sitting on the couch a lot longer than I was. And when I got out of the military, I'm 5'7". I can tell you right now, I'm 5'7". I'm 175 pounds. But when I got out of the military, I was 5'7", 172 pounds. And about 2 years after the military, I was still 5'7", but I was 207 pounds. And most of that additional weight was tasty cakes. Okay? And I realized that, hey, I need to do something, right? I need to make sure that I change. I can't stay at that pace because I watched my father. My father, he ended up passing away due to some complications from diabetes, and I didn't want that to happen to me. Yeah. Plus, I didn't feel comfortable at that weight. But I also did not want to give up my love for tasty cakes. So I continued to eat tasty cakes. But what I did was this. I said, you know what? If I want to eat tasty cakes, number one, I'm going to cut down. And the funny thing is now since I live in North Carolina, I don't eat tasty cakes anymore. That's weird. But in order for me to give that up, or in order for me to keep my sweet tooth, let's put that out there. In order for me to keep my sweet tooth, which I do still have a vicious sweet tooth, I have to work out, and I have to work out consistently. So what happened was my passion or my desire to continue eating sweets, okay, and also my passion and my purpose to living a more fit life and becoming diabetic led to a persistent workout routine. And when you start working out, and when I started working out again, I was almost 40 years old. So I've been working out again. I've been working out consistently in my plan right now for about 14 years.
That's good.
But when you start doing that, things that you really learn the human body when you get older and you start working out. You go to the doctor and you find out you had ligaments that you never had before. I know more about human anatomy that I learned when I was in biology class in freshman year, because things break, okay? And you got to have that persistence. And one thing that I talk about in the book is sometimes we talk about a pain, and that pain could be physical, that pain could be mental, that pain could be spiritual, and we utilize that pain as an excuse to not go to where we want to go. I want to tell everybody right now, it doesn't matter at all. There is going to be pain regardless. There's just going to be pain. Yep. And one thing that when I talk about persistence, it's going into anything knowing that you're going to be hurt. My grandmother used to tell me when I was a kid, she used to tell me, she goes, no one breaks your heart more than your own child. And I was like, what does that mean? And the thing is it is a true statement, because your children will break your heart. And even if it's unintentional, they do. I'm sure I've done that with my parents. My kids have done that in certain times with me. It just happens, okay? It's not a bad thing, and I'm not trying to tell anybody who doesn't have children or thinking about children not to have children. That's not the case. But what I am saying is there's going to be pain either way, okay? Because if you didn't have children, okay, so if right now I have the pain of maybe, one of my kids not, breaking my heart because they did something stupid, whatever that stupid is. And we all do. We've all done something stupid as children, and we've all, as parents, have witnessed our children doing something. That's just the way it is, okay? But the thing is I'd rather have that pain than the pain of when you see people who are in their 70s and 80s, and they're all alone because they decided not to have children. Yeah. So now they live a life so they not only did they have the pain now they have the pain of loneliness, and that pain of loneliness then leads to other pain. It may lead to a painful mentally. It may lead to other mental conditions and mental pains and mental anguish. It may be just like, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and get out of here, and it leads to a shortened life. They always say that active parents, active grandparents tend to live longer than people who are not active in parenting. So those are things that I'm talking about. It doesn't matter which way you go. There's going to be a level of pain.
Yeah, absolutely. Our kids, we love them deeply. So yeah, they're the closest thing to us. So it's easy for them to break our hearts unintentionally. But we love them anyway, and we love them through it. No, I love that. And I love that what you said about the passion for it. I love tasty cakes. I cannot get tasty cakes in Minnesota. So anytime I get to the East Coast, there's a certain tasty cake that I absolutely grab. And it's good that I live in Minnesota, because it is my downfall. But yes, I have a favorite. I love the butterscotch crimpets are my favorite. And yeah, there's nothing like them anywhere else. That's just on the East Coast is where you can get those. So I understand tasty cake cravings. I'm trying to think of what else to ask you. What else would you like anybody to know about this book? Who should pick up this book?
People who should pick up this book are people who are stuck. One of the reasons why I wrote this book is because there was a period of my life where I was absolutely stuck. Even though I had a lot of success, I was stuck, because you don't have to be stuck financially. You don't have to be stuck physically. You can just be stuck up here. Sometimes routines, common routines, make you and get you stuck. This is a great book to get you unstuck. This is also a book that if you're overwhelmed, there are so many things going on right now in the world. There are so many decisions that you have to make right now that you have to read, that you have to make. You have to make tons of decisions. And you should read this book. Let me put it this way. You should read this book because it is going to help you at least go down and kind of break down your decision process into 4P's. You know, number one, if I make a decision, does it fall in line with my purpose? If the answer is no, then you shouldn't be making that decision.
Right.
Okay. Does it fall in line with my plan? Could I make a plan? All right. So if I make a decision that falls in line with my purpose, do I have the opportunity? Do I have the plan? Do I have the people around me to make sure that plan is good? As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I expanded this book and literally got a new publisher for this book is because even though my purpose is to have this book, it is your purpose to read it, so please buy it. But it is definitely my purpose to make sure that this book is out. But I also knew that the team I had around me when I first started, the team I had around me was not, I'm not saying they were bad. I'm saying that they were not the team that will get this book and do the things that I needed to do with this book.
Right.
So I needed to make sure. So sometimes you have to make sure that while you're in the decision process, while you're in the middle of the process itself, you know, and these are lessons that you can learn through the planning process. Sometimes you got to sit there like, you know, I'm in Buffalo, New York right now, and there are two teams in Buffalo. They're the Buffalo Bills, which are just a phenomenal franchise. They are the model franchise. They just haven't won that big game yet. They need to get it. And then you have the Buffalo Sabres, who are a train wreck. Okay, they are an absolute train wreck. They're awful. Okay, I love teams dearly, but one of them I know by probably December I don't have to watch it anymore, and I know that the other one by about January I'm about ready to throw something at the TV. That's what I'm about ready to do. But the thing is with them, with the Buffalo Bills. One thing about them, they have a very good team, and every single year you watch them. This year they have one of the best offenses in the NFL. But what did they do? Even with the best offenses in the NFL, they got rid of just about every wide receiver they had. This is a team that literally averaged over 30 points a football game all year long, and they said, nope, we need different receivers. So the same receivers that were there, except for like the rookies, they changed them. So sometimes because they want to win that Super Bowl. Right. They know that the team that they had, even though it was good, they knew that they can do better. And that's one thing, like even with this book, the book was good in its original sense, but now I know it can do better. So what do? We change things out. So that's in the book as well. Yeah. And you know what? The thing is when it comes to planning, you know, you have to sit there and sometimes you have to make those hard decisions, even if it's going to cost you something. And then as far as someone who has passion, sometimes you need to evaluate your passion. Sometimes you really need to look, you know, and I'm going to tell you this, it's not about if you're happy, because you know what? Happy is, I can be happy 1 minute, I can walk outside, trip on the curb, and hurt my knee, and I'm not happy anymore. Okay? But there's a difference between happiness. Happiness is like, it's a feeling. Okay?
Fleeting.
Joy is a state.
Yes.
Joy is a constant state. It doesn't matter where you are. So when you are thinking of your passion, it's not about if you feel good, because in joy you're not going to feel good. In joy you're not going to feel good all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people. The reason why divorce rates are so high, and trust me, I can tell you, the reason why divorce rates are so high is because a lot of times people are looking for someone who's going to make them happy. That is not the one. Yes. That's not the person you want to meet. You want the person that's going to give you joy, and that's the thing. You want the job that's going to give you joy, and you want the purpose that's going to give you joy. And if you have the purpose that gives you joy, when you get up in the morning, I don't care if it's a professional purpose, a personal purpose, a spiritual purpose, whatever that purpose may be. If you get up in the morning and you know that you would do what you're doing for free, and you're almost guilty that you're taking people's money, that's where you're supposed to be. All right. I'm not saying don't take people's money. Take it. Okay, please. But I am saying you feel like, wow, I would do this for free. Then you know that you're in a joy state. And when you have that joy state, not that happy state, when you have that joy state, the book, the part I wrote about persistence, That's going to come easy. Those are just things. When I write that persistence part, okay, you are willing to take the hits once you do that. You're willing to go with the flow because you really want that joy. You're willing to do it, and you're willing to go through the pain. Like I just started CrossFit. I have no idea why. You're probably not going to be like, wow, this guy's in his 50s. He just started CrossFit. Maybe I shouldn't read his book. But you know what? I'm going to tell you, I'm training for CrossFit to do a competition in Sydney, Australia next year. I leave CrossFit. There was one day I left CrossFit and we did something cardio, and I literally like sat there and was like, do I call 911 right now? Because that's exactly the state of mind that I was in. I said, let me take a break for a second. And then after I got my breath back, which seriously, I mean, I was literally like kind of seeing things, like I was hallucinating. I was so tired from this run that after I did that, I actually went back and I said, am I going to do this again? I'm like, yo, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to finish it. And it became something that gives me joy. Lots of pain in CrossFit, but it does give me a lot of joy and persistence to go. And I do love the persistence to go through it. If it's something that I didn't want to do, let's say, for example, it was golf, I would come up with an excuse in a heartbeat because I can't stand the sport.
Yeah. Okay, I have to ask, are we supposed to be getting somebody in our lobby that's named Jeff?
Jeff Hanlon, yes, please.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I will let him in. My son's named Jeff, so it really threw me. Hello, Jeff. There you are. Hi.
Hi. Sorry, I just caught the end of that. I didn't know you were talking about me.
That's okay.
You know, it's funny, Jeff, I am literally 90 miles from you right now. Jeff Hanlon is from Toronto, and I am literally 90 miles south of you. I'm in Buffalo. And anybody who understands right now, there's Sam Humphrey.
Oh,
yeah.
So anybody who understands anything right now will understand that there is a massive, the Toronto-Buffalo thing, we're not supposed to like each other, okay? But I want to say something before I have, and hopefully you don't mind us asking you a couple questions. I met, LinkedIn is a beautiful thing. And I met Jeff Hanlon through LinkedIn. And Jeff is probably he is the typical downtown Toronto person. He dresses impeccably. He's a master of industry. He helps nonprofits. He's just a great individual. And when we had a conversation and I got to hear who Jeff Hanlon actually was, I can't say how inspired I was by this individual. So inspired to the fact that, I wanted to put him in the book because in all actuality, I do have a podcast episode with Jeff. If you listen to Jeff's podcast and you see this man right now, and I'm pointing to my side because that's where the monitor is, and I'm sorry, so that's just a bad thing. But if you see who this man is right now, Jeff is not supposed to look, dress, or even be anything like what he is today. And I put him in the book to show that a lot of people have, I'm not supposed to be here, and they have this level of imposter syndrome or whatever. And that individual is not him. So Jeff, thank you for showing up. I appreciate it.
Always willing to show up for you, Trunnis. You've been such an inspiration to me. I think it was probably about a year ago that we connected, maybe a little bit longer. We've had a number of conversations, and every time I talk to you, I just get so pumped up. And when I got your email yesterday, I was like, how can I not show up? Like, it's just been a blessing to have you in my life the past, year or two or so. And thank you for thinking about me and the podcast and the book, and just any way I can support you, I'm here for you. You know that.
Thank you so much. Now, I owe you a Toronto Argos game this year. I will be back in Toronto for the Word on the Street book fair this year. This year, we won't have a hurricane I shouldn't say that. This year, we should not have a hurricane that affects affects my time in Toronto. So this year, hopefully, we get to go to an Argos football game because I really would love to go with you. Now, the other thing that we have to do is we have to go to a Toronto Sabres game. I will be reluctant to wear because I really do like my face, and it's ugly enough as it is. I don't want it to get beat up anymore. I probably will not wear a Sabres jersey to your arena, but I will say that I have a t-shirt under that says it. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
the other person that I have here is it was a rough time, but I have to say this, Jeff, and I'm not saying this to be funny. I did not realize this. Now, the Buffalo Sabres haven't been in the playoffs in 14 years.
Wow.
Okay? And we actually have 2 extra playoff wins in our 14-year break than you do in the playoffs right now. And when I found out that we have 4 wins in 2 years and you have 2, I was like, God. So...
You got me on that one, and it's a really, like, I know you're doing that just to jolt me a little bit because of the Leafs and the pain we're going through after the past week or so. Leafs Nation is just up in arms right now. We've all given up. We're all becoming Buffalo Sabres fans because they have a much better chance at winning a cup than we do. 50 years of, I don't even think we've ever gone to the finals in my lifetime. So, yeah, do not mention the Leafs around me right now. I'll be wearing the Sabres jersey along with you at this point.
And you know what? At home, I have a Toronto Argos Grey Cup championship hat at home, and I should have brought it with me and wore it because that's the only – you guys are the only team that can bring me a championship. So there you go.
And you got to get used to saying the Argos chant that goes, Argos. So get familiar with that because you're going to be screaming that a lot at the game.
I love it.
Absolutely will. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
The other person that I have here, thank you. The other person I have here is Sam Humphrey. Like I said, Sam Humphrey, for him to even be in the same screen as me. I mean, this is a Hollywood actor. I mean, he's been in great shows. He's been in. I mean, you were in one of the highest grossing films in Hollywood. And you also, made me laugh as a history prop when you smart mouthed Queen Victoria, even though you had to do it just acting, but it's great that you're here. And also, again, I do want to say personally, thank you so much thank you ever so much for writing the foreword to this book.
Of course, my pleasure. It's an absolute honor to be able to write forward for your book. So the fact that you reached out and asked me to write it is an absolute privilege and an honor to me.
We love you.
Can you do us a favor? I already talked. We do, and I already talked about your journey. What keeps you moving forward like you do?
I mean, today especially, because I've gone through a lot of stuff in my history, and the thing that really keeps me grounded today is my faith, is my belief and my confidence in God. Because of my history, my health challenges, my physical challenges, and just everything that I've gone through, without my faith and my grounding in God, I wouldn't be anything. I struggled with identity issues. I struggled with, feeling worthy, with feeling like I could achieve anything, feeling like I had anything of value to offer to the world. And as we've discussed in the past, when I was a teenager, because I was, very close to not making it past my 18th birthday, I decided that I would take myself out of the world, and I tried to commit suicide a few times. So coming forward to today, everything that I am, everything that I've achieved, everything that I potentially will achieve, it all comes back to my grounding of my faith and my belief in God.
It's amazing.
And again, I love hanging out with you. I love talking to you. I will say this, that as you know, somebody who has kids that saw the movie in the theater, to know I still have a daughter that sits there and says it's hard to believe that you're sitting there texting Sam Humphrey at home. She still doesn't find that, because I am not, as a 54-year-old man, I'm not cool enough to be texting someone of your caliber sitting there on the couch watching TV.
Oh.
So I do appreciate, I absolutely appreciate being able to do that. And thank you. You know, you guys, and I don't know, I don't want to take this over, but go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you were just fine. The only thing go ahead.
No, the only thing I wanted to say is both of you. One of the reasons why I did make the changes and did expand the book is because both of you inspired me so much that I learned in my brief time with knowing both of you. I learned so much from you, and you inspired me in such a great way. Jeff, you and I, when I am in Toronto, we will definitely have a beer and discuss how you inspired me. That's for sure. Sam, we've already had. Well, I had a beer. You did not. That's very nice of you. But you already know how I feel about you. But yeah, I mean, I just want people to know that a lot of the stuff that I put in this book, before I even met Jeff and Sam, they are evidence that this book will work. And they didn't even read the book. That is just evidence that these individuals exist. And if you don't think that you can do what Sam and Jeff did, I mean, I'm presenting them. You can do it. You can change. You can get out of your circumstance. You can change your circumstance. You can live your ultimate dream. But it's going to take work, and it's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take some pain. It's going to take some discomfort to do it. Just like Jeff and Sam had to go through. It's not like they made a decision and then all of a sudden it was happily ever after. It's not Disney. But if they made a decision, and they did what they had to do to be where they are today, and hopefully their stories inspire you as much as they continue to inspire me.
Beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's loads of stories in this book about so many people, and they're inspirational stories, but they're all about how people found their passion, figured out their plan. They were persistent with it, and it's all about that purpose, finding that purpose and just grasping a hold of it, using it to develop what you want, what you need, and go down that road. I apologize for the dog barking.
I do myself. You might hear them.
Yeah, she won't leave me alone today. But I have to say, you know, Trunnis and I it's been not quite a year. We're getting close to a year that I've known Trunnis, and honestly, I've learned a lot. Just being able to work with him, being connected with him has been so much more than I could have imagined. But he lives this book daily, and I will tell you, plans he has a lot of. He has no shortage of plans, but it is because he knows what his purpose is, and he is so very passionate about that purpose. And the one thing that he mentioned about having that right team around you, it is so important. And I am blessed to be part of that team for Trunnis, but I have worked in those situations where you don't have the right people around you, and you do get stuck, and you you know that's your purpose. You absolutely know that's your purpose, and you are passionate as anything about it, and you just can't get anything done. And if that's what's going on, and you know that's your purpose, you know you're passionate about it, you know you've got a plan, and you can't get anywhere, first of all, get the book, because it'll give you so much information and give you that just a little bit of reignition to that. But realize that maybe it's the people around you that aren't grasping, they have got to be able to see that purpose, and they have to have that passion with you to see what your vision is. And if you don't have those people that see your vision, they're not for you, no matter how much you love them, even if they're, they could be your closest circle of friends, but you don't have to make them your business partners. Okay? But I'm just going to say it. You can love people, but not have them do things with you. But I have learned so much just being associated with Trunnis. I call him my business partner because we are doing amazing things together. I count it a pleasure to be his publisher now, and it's an honor for me. Sam, I love you dearly. I will get to know Jeff because I'll be in Toronto with Trunnis.
Oh, wow.
And I'm excited about that. But Trunnis, congratulations on relaunching this, but also on absolutely everything that you do and just the person that you are.
Thank you very much. And thank you. And Jeff and Sam, thank you for taking time out of your busy day. You know what, and I have to say this, Jeff, I really do have to say this. We all know what's going on politically to the U.S. and Canada. I will say this right now, U.S. and Canadians, and always, doesn't matter what goes on between the two parents, the kids still love each other, right, Jeff? Always.
Exactly, right? They say never talk politics or religion. There's a reason for it, right? Because people can disagree so passionately about it, and different leadership structures, different ways to go. Everybody's looking out for the people they're responsible for looking out for. And I think we can all, love one another and let them kind of deal with those issues. And as long as we show respect for each other and love and passion, and I think that's the way to go. I never like the booing of the national anthems at sporting events. It's not about the people. It's just a political environment, and the whole world's dealing with it right now. So let's put that stuff aside because we have so many things in common. We're so similar, and we all just want the best for each other. So I totally agree with you on that. That's not
that
work.
Absolutely.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I just want to say
thank you all. I appreciate it. And thank you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Trunnis, thank you and congratulations on the launch of this, the new book, the revision of it. And I certainly want to let my world know because everybody needs a little motivation, a little direction. They need to know that it's not always where you start, it's more where you end. And that if you have a belief in yourself and you have a dream and a passion, and as long as you stick with it and you work well with people and you treat people with respect, like you always do, Trunnis, you're going to make it. You're going to be able to achieve those dreams. And I think you articulate that really well. I feel it whenever I talk to you. And I always get so excited when I hear from you. It could be sending each other a text saying, I'm thinking about you, sending you some love today out of the blue. It could be a LinkedIn message. It could be just engaging in each other's social media stuff. I always feel like I have you in my corner, and it's just been such a blessing to know you. So congratulations on this. It feels like you're launching a new book every month almost. And these aren't just books, right? Like these are passion projects for you. These are coming from your heart and soul. These are about your life stories too, and tragedies you face and people you've helped who have faced tragedies. And there's no bigger, more noble cause than that, Trunnis, in terms of like you are doing really good work and you're uplifting people that need it and you're giving everybody a chance. And let's just spread the love and spread the word about all these things that you're doing in terms of your books, because everybody should read them. So thank you, Trunnis, for all you do, because I don't think you sleep at night. Like you're on fire. You're doing so much great things. And I'm going to see you on like the Oprah show one day on CNN, and because that's where you're heading. You're doing amazing work. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Jeff. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really do appreciate that, and I'm honored and humbled by what you just said. I really am. I just want to say that you guys can get the book on Kindle. I really want you to get the book on Kindle. US, it's $1.99. I don't know what it is in Canada, so you probably just have to do, it's probably $2.99 or something like that. Australia, probably about the same. But yes, you can get the book. I really do want you to get the Kindle this weekend. And again, that was another thing. One of my things about the even relaunching the book was with my other publisher, the Kindle price was too high, and I did not like it. So I wanted to reduce the cost because I really want you to read this book. That is the most important thing. So thank you very much.
Can't wait.
All right.
Sam, I will see you also. Thanks.
Yes, absolutely. Sam's working on his own project.
I get that.
Way to go, Sam. Good job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
he's working on it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, any last words other than the ones you just said, Trunnis?
No more last words.
All right. Well, I want to
yes,
thank.
One last word.
One last word.
I want to thank Louie, come on, Louie and Dallas, come on over. These are the young people I was talking about who actually, they let me use their studio today. They're young entrepreneurs here in the Buffalo, New York area. Yeah. Louie used to go to my father's skating rink in, let's see, this is your place. Used to come to my father's skating rink back when he was a kid. Now he has kids, like I said before, old as I am. But I'm very proud of both of them. And one thing I love about these young individuals who are doing their thing, they learned. They say they learned from my father, and that is it's an honor for me to hear that as well.
That's awesome.
And I'm very glad that now they used to go to my father's place, and now I'm going to their place, and it's come full circle. And I'm very proud of both of them. Thank you.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Amazing work. Really great platform. I love it. I'll be checking it out for sure.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. Well, thank you, Sam and Jeff, for joining us as well. It's always fun when we have extra, people that are in the book or talked about in the book joining us. We appreciate your time. We know people are busy. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, gentlemen, for allowing Trunnis to use your space today. And I want to thank anybody who watches this now, later, whenever. Share with your family and friends. Everybody say hi to Roxy because she needs to apparently be right here. She's extra. She's only 5 months old, y'all. So I give her liberties. But I just want to thank you all and get this book, share it with your family, share it with your friends. It is definitely a motivational and inspirational, it's a purpose book, I'm telling you. So go get this book and share this recording with everybody else. It'll be out on YouTube forever. So so thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.
Nicole. Trunnis, how did your dad used to sign off at the skating rink every night?